Hello, this is the TradeSide U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday the 9th and Friday the 10th of September 2021. A couple things to note here, and this is coming up. This came up quick. I wasn't even thinking about this, but it did come up quick because it's so early and we just got done Labor Day. But next weekend is triple expiration for options, which means this Thursday and Friday is the quarterly futures contract roll where we move from the U21 to the Z21 contracts. And as you know, that usually means that Friday is a bust and Thursday things slow down. I don't know how you can get slower. So we've started to see some signs of life, but it hasn't been extraordinary or anything close to normal yet. But now you have to worry about this roll. So let's first look at the markets. Here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market and futures forum. We've come down in a couple days. Nothing substantial yet. Let's go through the major daily charts. Crude oil is at 69.32, up a couple cents. Gold down $4.60. There's that. S&P cash down $5.96. It was lower in the middle of the day. The Nasdaq 100 was down 54. It was much lower. It was down over 100 points at one point during the day, so it kind of rallied back. SOX down 42. Okay. The biotech's down 57. Also okay. So everything's kind of rolling over a bit. The Russell 2000 down 25. Now this thing we know is still stuck in this, whatever this range is. I mean, this is the sign of how bad the market is because, again, so many stocks. This is 2,000 stocks making up an index. And how flat is this for the whole year? The VIX down 18 cents to 17.96. Was higher earlier in the day. The trend closes at 1.38, puts the 10 or 1.4, puts the 10-day moving average at 1.06, which is nowhere near a signal that we care about. Nasdaq volume was 4.1 billion shares. We're seeing that look at that 10-day moving average. This is where volume is settling now. Even coming out of summer, we're not seeing a pickup in volume. But I think we always are going to have to look back at like last December, January, February, March as just being this extraordinary volume related to COVID and everything going on with the election and all that stuff. We're settling back to, and this is still high. Comparatively, we're settling back to some more normal numbers. But that doesn't mean we can't move around. We haven't been. Advanced decline ratio on the Nasdaq negative 1514. Sorry, more stocks down than up, weaker than it's been. That 10-day moving average took a major turn over the last couple of days, so we're starting to see some bigger sell-offs here. Coming back from Labor Day, which is what we're expecting, and we'll look at the intraday in a minute. Here's the the New York Advanced decline down negative 754. Google loses $11.79. Still just near the highs, not much there. Apple down $1.58. Okay, Netflix was down 66 cents. That's a blip on a $600 stock, obviously. And Amazon up 16.21. Okay, so there's an exception. Tesla up 95 cents, also an exception when you realize how many stocks were down, but not up much, of course. Facebook down $4.61. That's more par for the course. Zoom down $6.36. Doesn't look too pretty. Goldman Sachs down $5.32. That's a big one, too. This one's one to watch always because it leads the market a lot of times, so keep an eye on it. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, up $1. Doesn't really matter. The Dow is down 68. Bitcoin sits at 46,000 and change. And that is that. Now, here's what we really want to look at, right? We want to switch 5-minute candles and go look at the ES. And just to see what's been going on. So you had Monday and you had this weird, the holiday junk, the half-day thing. So Friday's close on the far left. Monday's whatever. They barely open the market to trade a few trades for a couple hours. And then the real trading starts Tuesday. We gapped down even from Friday's close a little bit. Pushed a little lower. Looked like it was starting to sell off. But then kind of came back, closed just under the midpoint for the day and down a little bit from the opening candle. Then Wednesday we gapped down, came back up and filled, then sold off quite sharply. And then that was it. And then a little bounce back. And we ended up just going dead sideways, closing just above the VWAP for the day. So, we're seeing some action in the first hour and a half. It's just not carrying forward at all. And there's still not enough setups to call it exciting. But there's at least signs of life. And this is better than some of what we saw, obviously, over the summer and stuff like that. So we'll take it. I should also point out the Nasdaq side here real quick, which, again, a little more movement, a little more action, especially on the downside moves there. So, I think there's stuff coming, but it's hard to say. So hard to say when it's going to be substantial. So then here's the bigger thing, right? So now that we've got something established, a little bit of action, we're heading into the quarterly contract roll. So we're going to go from these U contracts to the Z21s on Friday. So still, Thursday's trading will be based on the U contracts, but the volume will start to shift out of it into the Zs. Friday, almost all the volume will be in the Zs, and that's the day where all the technicals are off by a day. And then by Monday, we're tracking the Z contract for all of our levels and everything else, and we're in the Zs. And then next week, you've got triple options expiration with futures and all that stuff on Friday. So, but you can, one thing of them all, this Friday, the roll from the contracts is usually the deadest day. So just be aware of that. Does not bode well for this Friday, unfortunately. Totally forgot about it because it came up so quick, but it's already here. In terms of economic data tomorrow here in the U.S., initial and continuing jobless claims at 8:30. Natty gas at 10:30. That's the normal time on a Thursday, but then crude oil inventories at 11 because it usually is on a Wednesday, but not with a short week. And then the 30-year bond auction in the afternoon. And just looking at Friday, the PPI at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and final wholesale inventories. There's a lot of actual data coming out around the globe, but none of it's the most critical stuff. So the big thing is going to be the focus on the quarterly contract roll. And then let's just see, can we get a little action Thursday again to widen these ranges to get things going again, and preferably to the downside. And then we can carry forward from there. But Friday's probably not going to be exciting. So this is it for the week. We don't usually do a market preview for Fridays, and we certainly won't this week. Charts as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday, Friday, and have a good weekend.